Hello and welcome to the latest Flames of War painting tutorial. So today we are going to take a look at how I paint some US infantry for the later part of the Second World War. So we're talking 43 to 45 and these are going to be wearing their iconic sort of khaki jacket and brown trousers. So stay with me and we'll get right to it. Now, if you would like to purchase the miniatures that you saw spinning around just a moment ago, you'll be able to find them at the Flames of War homepage, otherwise known as the Battlefront main website. They do have a new website, which you're seeing right now. You go to Flames of War, you can find their new nation page. So we go to America and we can scroll down and you'll be able to find them. The fantastic thing about this set is they are hard plastic steel, which I know a lot of you would like. You're much bigger fans of hard plastic than you are to metal, and they are not thermoplastic either. Now with that, we're going to go ahead and give the miniature a light primer. I'm going to use Tamiya Surface Primer Light Grey. It's just a rubber can, easy to apply, and then I'm going to go ahead and give the trousers US Field Drab. You can go with US Olive Drab, and Olive Drab, as it probably suggests, is a green colour. And that is applicable for US infantry at this time as well, so obviously 44 to 45. Just really depends on when their trousers were issued, and obviously if they decided to keep their brown trousers, etc., as to whether or not they would have been issued the green trousers. So you can mix them up in the platoon if you want to, really give them that sort of veteran look. It's up to you. Then for the jacket, I'm going to use khaki. Now you might be looking at this going, his webbing's also going to need to be khaki, which is pretty true. So the American jacket as well as the webbing all looked very, very similar in colour, but we will be able to achieve a brighter webbing colour by selecting the correct paint. And the paint for that is khaki grey. Now khaki grey is a little bit more brown in its colour and it's a little bit brighter. So it makes a really good webbing colour. Other than obviously just painting it in khakis, otherwise it'll just blend in with the jacket and look really unrealistic, and especially at this scale it just wouldn't look right. It'll all blend in together, and that's probably the worst thing you want. Now with this khaki grey, you also want to make sure you paint these gaiters that you can see here in that same colour as well. Once that's done, we can use US dark green to paint the helmet. US dark green is also a really good colour if he's got like a bazooka or a grenade. Potentially a 30 cal stand, for example, anything like that, you could be painting it in this colour, that dark green. I do have a German tutorial following the exact same process what you see now, and I'll leave a link to that video in the video description, as well as a little pop-up that would have come up just now. Then for the metal areas of the miniature, we're going to use black grey, and obviously with a Thompson, quite a lot of the actual weapon is this sort of dark grey colour, so we want to make sure we're capturing all those parts. If he had any other metal areas as well, we'd be painting them in this same colour. You can see I'm really trying to take my time as well. I'm not trying to make too much mess, because the less mess you make, there's less tidying up you have to do once you come to the wash stage. So then for the wooden aspects, we're going to use flat earth. Obviously the Thompson has a foregrip, a pistol grip and a stock, so we're going to be painting all of that in this flat earth colour, this wood colour. And obviously if you had a shovel, for example, we'll be painting the handle of the shovel in this colour as well. With that done, we then want to go ahead and paint his shoes, or boots. So we're going to be using saddle brown to achieve that one. Saddle brown is also a fantastic colour for his chin strap, and the various straps for keeping his helmet on his head. So you can see he's got a strap coming across the top of the helmet, which you can see in grey there now. So we're going to hit that with a bit of that saddle brown as well. In just a moment, there we go. So we're going to hit that in saddle brown. And you can see that really just stand out, and it gives you that really nice leather look. Now depending on if you can be bothered doing this or not, you can paint the weapon strap in German Camo medium brown. It's just a little bit different to saddle brown in terms of its leather look, but you could paint it in saddle brown if you wanted to. You could even paint it in khaki grey, keep it the same colour as the webbing. It really is up to you and how many paints you want to source and how quickly you want to smash out a platoon, if not a company. And I shudder at the thought of saying company because there's just so many miniatures to paint. And there we go, that's how he looks pre-wash. So let's get this bad boy washed. What am I using? I'm using no oil and technical medium at a 1:1 ratio. Now these are Games Workshop or Warhammer, I'm not sure what the correct name for that company is now. This is their wash range, and the technical medium is the applicable thinners for the wash. So we're going to thin down that black wash to make sure it's not so sharp and doesn't, if it does pull, it's not going to make our miniature super black. But just make sure you're giving it a controlled wash and not letting pools of black gather. Now we're going back over the trousers with US Field Drab, and you can see that we're following the method of, this is layering. So we are leaving the base color that's been washed in those recesses. So in the crease folds, we're leaving that really dark color, and then everything else is getting a coat of US Field Drab again. So you can see it's a really good explanation here, or video footage explaining what I'm trying to do. Then for the final highlights, so this is capturing the raised edges. We're using US Field Drab and German Camo Beige at a 1:1 ratio. And my technique for this is very straightforward. I just scratch on little parts and I go, okay, that looks good, and I just keep going with it. Don't put a big blob of paint on the end of your paintbrush because you're going to make mistakes. You can see them capturing the raised edges there, so that was a nice example. And now we can do exactly the same thing, but this time with his jacket. So we're going with khaki for the jacket, and I'm just finding a comfortable spot to start painting some of those nice details. The fantastic thing about these Battlefront hard miniatures, hard plastic I should say, is the fact that they have lots and lots of detail in them, and it makes for making areas stand out and for highlighting just so good. But this is the first layer. Now if we are talking about highlighting, which we are now, I'm going to use khaki and stone grey at a 2:1 ratio. Khaki is very bright, stone grey is very bright, so 2:1 is a bit more applicable than 1:1. It might look a little bit too unrealistic. And now I'm picking out the highlights of those raised edges of the crease folds of that jacket and the elbow, and you see where the wrist band is, all of that good stuff. It just sees straight away the trousers and the shirt just make this model pop with very little effort at all to make it look pretty nice. Now it's the turn of the webbing, and then we're pretty much almost there. This is the easiest part as well in terms of the big areas of neat painting. We're using that khaki grey again, and we're using the same method. So we're going with a layer and we're hitting the Thompson pouches. You can see that's on his waist there, and we're painting the top of those pouches as well as the bottom, but leaving a nice little bit of that dark wash bit in the recesses of the top of the strap. We're hitting that water bottle, adding some nice little details on there, and then we're going to go with our final highlight of khaki grey and German Camo Beige at a 1:1 ratio. So you can see that it's all just starting to come alive now, and I'm painting little tiny lines on each side of that magazine pouch, and as well as the water bottle there. There's a bit just between the Thompson and the chest there. I'm getting the water bottle at the back. Now we've moved on. Yeah, there's just lots and lots of details that you can capture and make look really nice. Then I'm using US Dark Green for the helmet. I'm just painting the metal band that goes around the helmet in this color. And then I'm going to move on to a dry brush, and once I've got the majority of the paint off that dry brush, I'll give a really good go on a bit of kitchen towel and then just dab on the paint on the top, and it's going to give it a nice worn helmet look without having to do much in terms of using a paint brush. And then to highlight that, I'm going to use US Dark Green and German Camo Beige at a 2:1 ratio, not 1:1, it'll be too light, 2:1. And I'm going to follow the exact same process, but just focus on the very top of the helmet opposed to around the sides. Even though it looks like I'm doing that, I'm not. I'm hitting the very top of the helmet here. And then that's how he's come out so far. He's looking really good with very little effort. I mean, this miniature on his own probably took less than an hour, excluding wash time, of course. So we can move on and paint the boots now. And there's not much to them. You can just paint the very tops on there and the sides, and it's that saddle brown again. And don't forget, you've also got those parts of the helmet you need to capture, which is the helmet straps for the chin strap and that, and it goes over the top of the helmet. And painting this in that brown colour really does complement the green so nicely, make it really stand out. Then you can see that we're going saddle brown and German camo beige at a 1:1 ratio, and I literally put just a little line across the very arc of the front of the boot, little line on the back of each part of the boot, and then for the helmet strap it's literally just a nice little line across the top. You might be able to add in a little dot on each side just to show that it's broken up, maybe there's a metal strap there or something. Then for the wood, we're using flat earth. Again, there's not really too much I can show you here because the wood's very limited on this Thompson and the way his sort of sculpted. But to then highlight that, I use flat earth and orange brown. Sorry, I'm not highlighting that. This is a second layer, and I'm just scratching it in. I'm really not really got too much control here, and then orange brown is the final highlight. Obviously with this Thompson foregrip, just leave the original base colour that's been washed in the middle where the fingertips would be cupping. Then for the medal, we can go back over it with black grey, and there's lots of details on this Thompson which makes it really easy to paint. Just so pick out all those details if you can. You can even dry brush it if you were game enough, but I wouldn't do that when you've got to this stage. You've already painted the bulk of your miniature. And then black grey and basalt grey at a 1:1 ratio is the final highlight. You could take it a step further and just go basalt grey, but you know what, I wanted a dark looking Thompson, so I avoided doing that. Now with that done, we can go over it with basalt grey. So I'm lying to you, I thought I didn't do it. I did go over it with basalt grey, but you don't have to do it. I've surprised myself in editing this, and I like to talk after I've edited it. So I've made myself look like a fool, but you don't have to do this. This is just an additional step if you want to. You can see I didn't really put too much on there anyway. Then for the sling, we're going back over it in German camo medium brown. And then to follow that up, we're using German camo medium brown and orange brown at a 1:1 ratio, which is a really nice worn leather look to it, and it looks great even at 15mm. That's what we want to do. And then there we go. He's painted obviously other than his skin, but if you want to see how I do that, I've got my German painting tutorial, which is linked in the video description, which has how I paint skin on this scale in there as well. So yeah, it looks really nice. You could throw some insignia on him if you wanted to, but you know what, if you're painting a whole company of these, that's going to take a lot of time. So yeah, really happy with these. I've had these sitting in my stash for a long time. I only have a few little like sort of sample ones I've got off mates over the years. These weren't sent by the team at Flames at War, so it's just something I've had lying around, but I wanted to get some Flames at War tutorials out there. I still have the 21st Panzer box set that I want to look at. There's been a huge fail with some of the AK paint pens. I'm not sure if it's AK's fault or not, but replacements are coming, so hopefully we'll be able to get that video out at some point. Let me know below, or comment below if you want to see that. That would be yeah, awesome to know. Huge thank you also goes out to my Patreons and YouTube channel members. You guys are awesome, and the ranks have been filling a lot lately, so thank you to everyone that has joined. And if you would like to join them, then you can join for as little as $1 a month, not a week, a month, and it gives you access to a few cool perks. Another mention also goes out to my Panzer Aces. You guys are absolutely awesome. So that's Patrick, Oscar, James, Panzer Jim and Colin. Thank you so much for your additional support. It really does mean so much. I'm going to leave it here, guys. Don't forget to comment below if you'd like to see those 20 Panzers painted using AK pens or any other Flames of War tutorials. I'm open to any idea. Thanks again, guys, and I will catch you at the next one.